Well, hello, everybody, and thank you for clicking on the button for HETMA Presents this month in Higher Ed AV for December 2025. Because this is dropping in the early days of 2026, you might be asking, well, how can this be December 2025 if it's already January 2026? And the reason is today we're going to take a little bit of a look back at the year as a whole for people. The end of a year and the beginning of a new one often gives people a chance to, reflect on what has happened, look forward to things that are coming, and hopefully have a little bit of downtime to do that, which we don't always have time to do in our daily lives, which is to really, reflect, think, look back, and then share. So what we have for you today is a collection of voices from people in the community that chimed in with voice notes and were sharing some of their wins from the past year, maybe some of their challenges, and maybe some of their surprises from the year 2025. We will jump in and listen to some of those, see what strikes a chord with each of you out there, and I will invite anyone that wants to continue this conversation. If you visit the homepage, higheredav.com, you'll see on the right side a little widget that can allow you to click and send in a voice note of your own. If you've got something you'd like to share with the community, a reaction to something you see here, or just a comment on what's going on, we love to feature the voices of everybody out there and would love to have you on a future episode of HETMA Presents. So please give that a shot. So we're going to kick this off with an all-star of the industry. I have before told him I think he is the voice of the AV industry, and that is Mr. Tim Albright of AV Nation. And he'll get us a kickoff in kind of his priorities, what his big win was for the last year, and what he found of great value.
Hey guys, it's Tim Albright from AV Nation, and I would say my biggest win of the year is connecting with more people. It is the favorite part of my job, is to get to meet more people and meet people, not just in the US, but around the world as we continue to go to more and more international shows. And I would say this year, we met more people, we interacted with more people, and I got to learn more about folks, both in the higher ed space as well as the corporate space. So thank you for connecting with me and with AV Nation, and have a fantastic 2026.
I love how Tim puts that. Relationships are the work, not a side effect of the work. In what he does, it is a key thing. And as we work to continue our road to 10K and building our community, what a great reflection of the past year. And I will echo how excited I am to be making more connections and meeting more people internationally, and tag in another visit to ISE and growth in the participation in the HETMA community out of Europe and continuing to grow that into the future. Continuing on that theme of creating new connections and personal stretch and even jumping out of your comfort zone, let's hear from Chris Kelly.
Hi, I'm Chris Kelly from Creighton University. My biggest win this year is just stepping outside of my comfort zone. From starting to record podcasts with people and getting involved with the higher ed AV media, I've stepped outside of my comfort zone and found wonderful returns on that investment. It has been a great year.
Chris has been a huge help to me this year, especially over the last 3 months. He's been an example of someone who you can tell just decided to get involved, raised their hand, and jumped in. He's done a ton of work on higheredav.com with Higher Ed AV Media and is headed to ISE with the team this year to continue that great work. And I just throw that challenge out to everybody who's listening. There's no easy time. There's no clear time to jump in and get involved. And there's no clear way to choose to volunteer other than make contact, say you want to help, and insist that people give you an opportunity to do something. Don't back down and don't shy away. The people that you see as leaders in the community or voices that you're used to hearing all started the same way. They just chose to grow personally in some way, to evolve their own role, and to just take their opportunities that came their way. Speaking of people who've picked up opportunities, let's hear from another regular contributor to Hire at AV, a crew member on the AV Life podcast, Renee Benson, who's really found an ability to grow themselves over the past year.
My name is Renee Benson, and I am with Sony Electronics. I would say one of my biggest professional wins in 2025 was truly evolving beyond my title and moving from that regional account manager to more of a trusted strategic partner amongst my customers. I was really excited to be brought into several large-scale projects and having conversations very early on about the decision-making process. Another huge highlight that I have to mention would be being named the Hire at AV Vendor Rep of the Year. That recognition meant more to me than I can put into words. To everybody who nominated and or took the time to vote for me, thank you. Not just a thank you, but a genuine, sincere one. Your trust and support are what make this crazy AV work so rewarding. Cheers to an amazing 2026 to you all. Happy New Year, and we will see you soon.
Really appreciate that from Renee, and kind of that mindset shift that she talks about from, that transactional maybe of being a rep to a real strategic partnership relationship that she's building. For her to drop in kind of her recognition and award and finding ways that, we all in the industry we all have a symbiotic relationship. Those of us who work on campuses and build and deliver technology, we need manufacturers making awesome, cool tech for us just as much as they need us to buy that technology. So what a great outlook she has on that. And I love her wish for everybody for the new year. But this year hasn't been all wins for everybody. There have been challenges, and sometimes the key to that is figuring how to take your challenge and turn it into a win, to find the opportunity in challenge. And I know that's the sort of thing that a lot of people say, and it usually is involved in trying to make people just feel better when stuff is going wrong. But that mindset of looking at maybe limits or liabilities as something to create clarity or push people in a new direction can have a real payoff. So without stealing all his thunder, let's turn this over to voice you know well, Mr. Joe Way.
Hi, this is Joe Way from the University of California at Los Angeles, and what a year it has been. I would say that my biggest challenge, as well as kind of the greatest accomplishment, kind of fall in the same thing. I think that the biggest challenge came from, of course, losing, federal funding, having travel budget cuts, things that impact the staffing and impact, the projects that you want to do. So that was a hard thing to navigate. But in that also came the best accomplishment, because it allowed me to step away and trust the staff, allowed them to innovate and be creative, made us be able to look at how we looked at our normal ways of working and our operations, allowed them to just be creative and find new ways of working. And I think that allowed us to do our project and our pilot, really create a technology and a system and the first cloud-based system in higher ed in a way that wouldn't have necessarily been possible without that challenge. And just those boundaries that got placed allowed creativity to flourish, and it allowed us to do so in ways that were responsible and pulled the team together at the same time. So to see that all wrapped together and knowing that really did start in January and concluded right at the end of the year, I think that made it really a successful year for the team at UCLA. So that's it for me, and you all have a great 2026.
Great message from Joe, and it's much appreciated for him to take the time to drop that note into us. We will stick in California and now move up north to Northern California from Southern California and continue on this theme a little bit of finding of wins in building something new, in creating things for technology at our campuses that maybe didn't exist before. So we're going to hear from Matt Kaminsky, who is somebody I've just really met for the first time this year, got to hang out with a little bit, and am excited to continue to get to know, excited for what he is bringing to our community. So let's hear about Matt's work that he's done at UC Berkeley.
Hey, this is Matt Kaminsky at UC Berkeley, also your sponsorship chair at HETMA. One of my biggest win and challenge this year was really to build AV operation from the ground up for at least 2 large capital projects on my own. It wasn't just installing system, but creating standards, workflow, and support what could be scalable and sustainable at the end of the day. Ultimately, I was able to share my findings with the community and hope to help inspire others that are facing similar challenges. I was lucky to be supported by an incredible community through HETMA, and I'm very grateful for the award and recognition I received this year. It truly meant a lot to me. As 2026 begins, I'm really hoping for a healthier and a bit less chaotic year, but I'm really excited to keep building and being part of this amazing community of practice. So I wish you a very good and healthy new year to all, and I hope to see you very soon.
Thank you, Matt, for that note. And again, I love the reference to the recognition that Matt has received this year, and that community tie-in that still, even as we are thinking operations, we're building systems. It is oftentimes the connections with other people, the community we have, the things we can share that continue to build strength for us, each individually, and also the strength we can build for our campuses and for our students, faculty, and staff that we are working every day to help. And finally, as we continue to think about, awards, roles, and reflecting on the strength of community, we'll hear from one of the real leaders of the HETMA community, Mr. Troy Powers.
I'm Troy Powers, and I lead the AV Services Support Team at Northwestern University and also serve as the Vice Chair at HETMA. If you had asked me at the start of this year what the most unexpected thing would be, I never would have said this. Being appointed to the position of Vice Chair was already a huge honor and something I really didn't see coming. But then, on top of that, being named the Higher Ed AV Professional of the Year for 2025 was honestly surreal. Both moments were humbling reminders of how strong our community is and how much collaboration, mentorship, and support really matter. This year caught me completely off guard in the best possible way, and I'm incredibly grateful for all of the people who made it happen.
Thank you, Troy. And yeah, it has been quite a year for Troy to start the year on one role and then have that opportunity to step up to vice chair and try and provide real leadership and put a lot of work into what HETMA has been over calendar 2025 and where it will continue to move. This one's a great kind of year-end toast for us, and it continues that emphasis of collaboration, mentorship, and support that I just love. Always great to hear from the Higher Ed AV Professional of the Year. So as we close out this episode and kind of try and put a bow on the year of 2025 in Higher Ed AV, I think when you hear these people, if you listen to the content that's come out this year, there's a lot of exciting technology that is available, even through a year that has had chaos and challenge on a lot of fronts in a lot of places in Higher Ed AV. People are still finding ways to continue to grow, continue to invest in each other, and continuing to build support systems. So many of us are involved in what you would call support on campus, and that usually means technical support, help desk, and that sort of thing. But we're really building technology support systems on our campuses and human support systems outside of our campuses within our community. It's one of the reasons why the community of HETMA, it really continues to appeal to me, and find so many ways to utilize it and to invest in it. And I encourage everyone to continue to find ways to do that we can support technology and we can support people. And that is it's a pretty awesome calling to live day in and day out. So let me again say thank you to everyone who sent in a voice note. It was great to hear from Tim Albright, Chris Kelly, Renee Benson, Joe Way, Matt Kaminsky, and Troy Powers, and for you guys being willing to share your voice with the show. And I would again invite all the listeners out there, take a look at the homepage, higheredav.com, look for the record widget on the right, and share what is your biggest win, challenge, or surprise from the past year. What do you think the next year might hold for you? And maybe as you go through January, if you've got a win, a challenge, or a surprise that hits, drop us a voice note so we can feature your voice at the end of January when we do this month in Higher Ed AV for the month of January. With that, I'd love to say Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026, and please stay connected to the HETMA community as we continue our year-long Road to 10K effort and really look to grow this community, grow each other, and grow our vertical in ways that it hasn't ever been done before. And with all that said, that is all the time we have today for HETMA Presents this month in Higher Ed AV. Thank you for tuning in to HETMA Presents. This show is a production of Higher Ed AV Media. Please visit higheredav.com to learn more about this show and a host of others. The views expressed here are not necessarily those of our respective institutions, employers, or sponsors. We'll be back soon with another installment of HETMA Presents.